So is it limerence or a love spell? I had to ask myself and wonder this at one point because so as a borderline, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure who or what has limerence. I know I do. I've had it very rarely. I think I've had it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. I had, you know, and it wasn't even like full on limerence. It just felt like limerence to a degree. Let me tell the story. So 2 of them were boyfriends. One was just a person, and then another one was I don't know, maybe he was a lot of things. But anyway, so here's how the system seems to go. So I'll meet a guy, and then usually do something like it's common borderline behavior to sabotage a relationship from the very, very beginning. So I'll make some sort of mistake at the very beginning of the first week, like, you know, because then it's just like, oh, see, I knew it wasn't gonna last, or it's over. So, you know, then you got to walk away. So I walk away in some sense, one sense or another, and then they come chasing, you know, like, oh no, don't go, or, you know, this and that, even though I'm the one that messed it up. So, but then when, you know, you do that, like, it makes me like, wow, he does care, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of the point. I mean, in a sense, I'll get into that in another video as well, the assassin. That's very interesting. So there's an inner assassin, but yeah, sorry, back to the story. So after I come back, though, and I, you know, develop feelings, in a sense, you know, they seem to pull away or just shut theirs off. And I don't understand that. But what I also don't understand is it's almost like a system where, you know, I'm walking away, I don't care or whatever. And then when I come back and care because they get me to come back, then they stop caring, but I get stuck. And I get stuck really, really wanting them to care. And I think about them all the time. And I just, you know, to become, well, it's limerence. It would be the definition of the term, what happens. But then it gets like really bad because they almost start getting like mean and cruel. And then I'm still just like stuck. And I don't understand it. Like, this doesn't happen with other people and, you know, other things. But what's really amusing and amazing to me is, so it always seems to last exactly 3 years. Then right at the 3-year mark, you know, after I'm just like completely in love and infatuated and obsessed with this person, it just shuts off. And then it's almost like, and literally it'll happen within like a day or two. And it's almost right at the 3-year mark. And I just go, wait a minute, you know, and I look back at this person like, why was I even like crazy about you? You know, like, it's like I see them in completely different set of eyes, but why is it always 3 years? Why, you know, it's just, there's something strange about it. So for my own sanity, I came up with a theory that, what if it's a love spell? You know what I mean? Like, imagine if, and this is how I would imagine it, nature, God, whoever gave this to man, gave man or human beings a love spell that would last for 3 years. And the whole point of the spell, I mean, if you ever read anything about magic and things like that, there's always like usually good intent, because there's karma if you don't, and there's actually karma for using spells, but we'll get into that. So let's say there's a spell and it lasts 3 years, and it makes somebody just completely in love with you for 3 years. And then after that, it shuts off. So the original purpose of this spell would be like for somebody who's, you know, not the best looking, or maybe a little overweight or bald, or, you know, missing teeth, and they really like someone, and they're like, gosh, if I just had that chance, you know, this gives them 3 years to get that person to actually literally fall in love with them or marry them or whatnot. But you'd want them to get to know you. It's giving you that chance. And then once the spell wears off, they'll already be in love with you because of the 3 years. That's what I would imagine the intent was. But what I think happens is, it's obviously people use things the wrong way. And let's look at somebody who's a narcissist or arrogant or just a not nice person. They would look at a spell like that like, well, one, they would never use it on somebody they actually liked because they knew it was going to wear off. So why would you risk getting feelings on somebody whose their feelings are going to shut off after 3 years? So I would imagine that people would use them, and then while you're under the spell, loving them and just completely crazy about them, even though they kind of want to and everything, they're like, oh no, I'm not going to return it, because it'll be a waste, because once the spell wears off, you're not going to feel that way. Because I can't imagine how you could just be in that situation with someone, especially if you're in a relationship or we're in a relationship, and you're just there and they're resisting, but they're looking at you kind of like they want to. It's just strange. But why would you back out as soon as somebody gave their heart to you, like heavily, almost like they knew that you were going to take it back, which is strange to me. So my theory is there's a 3-year love spell. I don't think anybody uses it for what it's supposed to be used for, which is to get to know somebody for 3 years and then have them actually already be in love with you by the 3-year end. But they're using it for pride, ego, revenge. I mean, especially if I screwed these guys over within the first week of meeting them, to sabotage the relationship, they probably tiffed and went, oh, who does this guy think he is? And he's going to treat me that way? Bam, slap a love spell on me. And then I'd like, for 3 years chasing after them, like, oh, I'm crazy about you and everything. And they're just going, oh, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. But, it's almost like they know it's going to stop suddenly and quickly at that point, so they never do. But what I find interesting is anything to do with magic, there's always the karma law. I mean, I've heard it's 3-fold. I've heard it's actually 10-fold. But anything you do, so I would imagine a dumb person would probably be like, well, I didn't actually feed into it or, do anything while they were under the love spell, so I don't get any karma. Oh, no. You make somebody like that with a spell, for that long, I think they should get the 10 times back. So that means they're going to secretly, as soon as karma has its way, once that spell wears off on you and you're just like, what the hell was I thinking? I mean, how many of you out there have loved a narcissist and then all of a sudden one day didn't, and it's just like, why did I even love him to begin with? And then walked away like, oh wow, was I dreaming? You ever wonder why that was? But the thing is when this 3 years is over, they'll never admit it to you, but this person that you were chasing after, oh, they can't help it. I mean, if somebody loves and, puppy dog eyed, just, this actually leads into a video I'm making called The Golden Fuel. But when you give someone the golden fuel, you can't resist that and you can't replace it. It's just the ultimate. And that's what they live off of, is fuel, like attention, love. So you can count on you will have their heart the rest of your life, even if it was a love spell or not. But just the fact that you invested and cared about them that much, it's their karma. And what would that be? So 10 years, 3 years times 10, that'd be 30 years. So say they did it to you when you're 20, that would be until they were 50. But, pride and ego, they'll never admit it. But that means they're dying inside, wishing and missing those days when you actually used to pay attention to them. Especially somebody who's in such a mindset to want and need attention. Why would you push it away? I don't know. The whole thing's strange to me, but that's how I kind of see it. So I've even had times when I'm in the middle of it, and trust me, it's awful. You just want it to end. Like literally your stomach hurts because you're thinking about them so much. And it's just like, why can't... It's an awful feeling. It is a symptom of what they say, borderlines have. Yes, we do, But why, and why does it shut off the way it does? It just doesn't make any sense. Why don't we do that with everybody that we like? We have normal, totally just, I like you normally, like you, calm. And then it's almost like, and you'll notice the ones that we're really, really liking, and they say it's our fault. Like, oh, we like the abuse, but it's like we like people who don't abuse us just fine and normal. Why is it that the people that we feel that psycho crazy like about, the ones that are abusing us, you know what I mean? It's a system. I don't know, just to me. Because we can like somebody normally who's treating us normally and be happy. It's not like the worst that person treats us that we go after them more. There's just some more to it. But all in all, friends, fellow bipolars, or borderlines, if you're under a spell, just remember it's only going to last 3 years. And at the end of that, you own that effer. Just plain and simple. And you have every right to. It's their fault. You don't do that to somebody. Why would you put a love spell on someone in the first place? Get to know them. I mean, I can understand if you would be judged for some reason and that's why you want to do it. But if you want to do a manipulation, or you want to do just to belittle somebody or something, then you've got all the karma coming to you tenfold, guaranteed, That's just how the universe works, and you need to put yourself in check. Have a good one.